Historic Preservation Commission meeting on May 7th, 2025. Hearings before the Historic Preservation Commission are quasi-judicial in nature. This is a design review process to determine if the proposed project is congruous with the special character of the historic district or landmark. Decisions of the Commission are based on the record of these proceedings, the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks, and the Secretary of the Interior Standards for Rehabilitation. Evidence submitted to the Commission for review become part of the record. Appeals of Commission decisions are to the Wilmington Board of Adjustment and then to the Superior Court and are based on the record. Appeals must be filed within 30 days of the date of the Commission's action. Evidence is received during the evidentiary hearing portion of an agenda item. Those who want to address the Commission are sworn as witnesses to present material and substantial evidence to the Commission. The Chair recognizes those who want to submit such evidence during the evidentiary hearing. Evidence should be directed to the Commission. To ensure that evidence is properly recorded, please come to the podium in the hall to address the Commission, state your name and address, and speak clearly. Members of the HPC are appointed by and serve at the pleasure of the City Council. Our charge is with respect to the protection and preservation of properties in the city's designated historic district. We are held to the standards of the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks and per applicable North Carolina state law to determine if exterior changes are congruous with the special character of the city's historic districts. It is important that we deliberate the merits of each request in a manner that provides a record as to the basis for our decisions. Please remember that our deliberation should be centered on how a project meets the design standards and whether the proposed change is congruous or is not congruous. Commissioners, if you have received or been made aware of any outside evidence related to any of the matters, please recuse yourself. At this time, I would like to request that all cell phones be turned off or put in silent mode. Thank you. Staff present tonight: Gina Esse is our Assistant City Attorney, Brian Chambers, Assistant Planning Director, Ben Riggle, Planning Manager, Monica Davis, Historic Preservation Planner, and Amy Bradshaw, Planning Coordinator. Now will the Commissioners please introduce themselves?
Stephen Sulkey.
Ashley Wilson.
Allison Watts.
Beth Rutledge.
At this time, staff will swear in witnesses that will be speaking at this evening. So anyone who will be speaking, please stand to be sworn in.
If everyone could please stand and raise your right hand. If you wish to speak tonight, do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Thank you. So we can get started. At this time, we'd like to have a motion or any comments about the minutes from April 10th, last month's meeting.
The only thing is a misspelling on Gina's name. It's SB on the minutes. It should be S instead of a P. That's it.
Anything else? Can we have a motion to approve with that change?
I have a motion to approve.
A second, anyone?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So we'll proceed to the evidentiary hearing for new business. The first item is on the agenda is item number 121 North 8th Street.
Evening, Commissioners. Case one is for the proposed project is to remove the rear porch and deck area, expand the existing concrete parking driveway with additional parking area, and install a new concrete patio at 121 North 8th Street. The house at 121 North 8th Street was constructed circa 1990 and is a non-contributing resource located within the Historic District residential. As such, all facades of the dwelling and parcel are subject to design review. The subject property is located on the southwest corner of the intersection of North 8th Street and Chestnut Street. The applicant proposes to remove the existing deck and rear porch area to allow for the enlargement of the concrete parking area by 98 square feet. The existing 7-foot by 12-foot wood deck and porch will be removed, and the steps and handrails salvaged to be reinstalled to allow access to the rear entrance. An additional 2-foot by 7-foot area extending from the deck area towards Chestnut Street will be infilled with concrete to complete the parking area expansion. The applicant also proposes to construct a 14-foot by 11-foot, 154 square foot concrete patio off the south end of the driveway in the proposed expanded concrete parking area. The concrete will be 4 inches thick and will be standard grade, matching the existing driveway. The proposed expanded concrete parking area and patio will be located approximately 2 feet west from the foundation of the house, and a total of 252 square feet of additional property will be covered by concrete. The existing rear porch deck to be removed does not appear to be historic. The parcel immediately south, or immediately west, adjacent to the proposed project parcel, includes the paved parking lot for the Chestnut Street Presbyterian Church. No mature trees or historic landscaping is proposed for removal as a result of this project. If approved, staff recommends that the conditions include that the proposed concrete parking area and patio be spaced at least 2 feet from the house foundation to provide a buffer for runoff. The steps and handrail shall be salvaged from the existing rear porch deck and reused to accessory entrance. No mature trees or historic landscaping shall be removed as a result of the proposed project. All construction should comply with the regulations and requirements imposed by the Land Development Code and other federal state laws. And changes to the project from the described application submittal shall be reviewed by the Historic Preservation Commission. Are there any questions?
Any comments or questions from staff, for staff?
One quick question. When I looked at this property, the picket fence, the dirt is literally using it like a retaining wall. It's kind of strange. Is that going to be modified too to do this? Because it's like about 8-10 inches up, and you can't really see it in this picture, but we can kind of see it in the end there where there's a board and just.
It's holding back like a pea gravel type area.
Well, yeah, and dirt, pea gravel, and the fence itself is kind of holding it back.
I do believe that part is going to be concreted as part of the,
Well, I mean, this runs down the entire length of the house. It's just kind of strange. I just kind of.
Yeah, I was wrong. The parking area extends out to where the driveway widens now. I misremembered. As far as I know, nothing is being done in that area.
Nothing's going to be done with that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Would the applicant like to come forward and add something or answer questions? Is the applicant not here? I guess not. Okay, we'll move on. We're opening up the evidentiary portion. Does anyone in the audience wish to come forward and say something about the project positively or negatively? Then we'll close that part. So now we'll go to deliberations among the commissioners. Any comments, anyone?
I am totally confused as to what, maybe I missed some pages, but as to what the plan is. I mean, this is the only kind of working drawings that I see in the project, and I don't quite know, I don't have a visual picture of what's going on. It may just be me, you may get it, but I'm not seeing it.
I think it'll basically look like that picture that they have pulled up, except the
I think if you
stairs
go
will
to
be
this-
turned right into the house. There's no landing at the stairs.
I've got that,
Okay,
I've
you
got
got
that,
that.
And it's
but
just
I
concrete.
don't,
It's basically all going to be one concrete pad. They're going to use a patio in the back for sitting and other recreation purposes. And then where the porch and steps are now will be concrete. The porch, the platform will be removed. The steps will be swung 90 degrees up against the house and allow access into the rear entrance that's there on the back of the house.
No deck.
No deck. And no landing. Do you know if the door swings in? I don't know.
I do believe it swings in, but I don't know that 100%.
Yeah. I feel like there are some functional things, like not having a landing and not having a little overhang that I would, I mean, not standard stuff, but just weatherproofing, I would maybe recommend they look at that. But, I mean, that's outside of this.
and I don't understand, how much more are they paving?
252 square feet will be the total.
Well, it includes the old plus the new addition, correct?
Sure.
I do believe that's new because it's 11 by 14, which is, what is it, 151 maybe?
Back there?
And then where the porch is going to be concrete as well.
But
It's all
why?
going to be set about 2 feet away from the house.
A lot of concrete. Yeah.
Is there any impervious surface regulations on this house, or is it just going to be all concrete? Because they already have all that concrete, now they're going to add more concrete.
And it's right next to the church parking lot as well. As far as I know, there's nothing specific, nothing I came across in my research.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I just think you could do things impervious-wise instead of adding more concrete, and have something a little bit more that we could see is just,
It reminds me of that case on Third where the lady wanted to put the whole patio. I think I missed the second version of that. What was the conclusion? Was there like a rule that we said, like 50% or something?
yeah, we did.
It wasn't a percentage, but we didn't allow it as much.
Yeah. I'm just thinking maybe we could use that same rule to measure this one with.
I think they can do some things using some impervious material instead of adding more concrete.
I'm just bringing what the
This is-
applicant
I'm
asked
just-
for.
That is my suggestion, that they go back and take a look at working on this instead of, we seem to see a lot of just, paving, and instead of coming up with some,
I have a question. Since the applicant isn't here, if we were to deny this, is that more negative than postponing it until the applicant might be back?
I would say yes, just because of the time on appealing it and things of that nature, so.
We stayed a couple in the March meeting for April. I imagine we could do the same. That worked fairly well for me.
Let it go till June if they will come, so that we can
I'd ask
discuss
them
this?
directly, yeah, because I don't know the answers to all the questions.
yeah, I mean, I think
apologize.
if it's important to them, they would be here to answer
Yeah,
the
I
questions,
emailed
or have
them-
someone.
I emailed them earlier this week.
Yeah, and have
I don't think
someone
I got
here.
a response back, though.
Yeah,
so-
or have someone here to, talk with.
Yeah, I will definitely follow up if that's what the decision the commission makes.
Yeah,
All right. I make a motion to delay this until the meeting on June, whatever day it is, we know.
12, is it 12? 12,
Ju-
Monica says.
Until June 12th, and the applicant can be here to answer some questions.
Anyone want to second that?
And
All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? A motion carries unanimously, so we'll delay it till the June meeting. Thank you.
I'm doing
Item
case
number-
two as well. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
item number 2 is 2 Church Street.
Okay?
All right. The proposed project at 2 Church Street includes replacing the roof, including a change in materials, replacing attic vents with fixed windows, replacing the siding and the gable ends with a change in materials, and installing a granite block flower bed and re-landscaping a section of yard. The property at 2 Church Street is located on the southeast corner of Church and Surrey Street. As described in the Wilmington Historic District Boundary Expansion and additional documentation report, the subject house is a side gable bungalow with engaged porch supported by square columns and a shed roof dormer. The central entry features a transom and side lights. The windows are 2/2 wood frame units, and open brackets adorn the overhanging eaves. The house, constructed circa 1915, is a contributing resource to the Historic Residential District, HDR. As such, revisions to all facades of the building and the site are subject to design review. The applicant proposes to remove and replace the existing asphalt shingle roof with GAF Timberline UHDZ architectural shingles and charcoal and black where applicable, basically on the back slope. On the north front slope of the roof, including the dormer and the small eyebrow shed dormer roof on the bay window on the side elevation, the asphalt shingles will be replaced with 26-gauge standing seam metal roofing from Coastal Metal Services. Although the spec sheet says that the metal roof will be striated, the version without striations will be used for the project. The applicant proposes to replace the existing attic vents in the gable end and replace them with wood frame fixed Pella windows in the same size and location. Visual evidence shows that the gable ends used to be clad in cedar shake, so the applicant would like to remove the existing aluminum shiplap siding on the gable ends and install a plywood underlayment and install hardy shake siding with a natural cedar color. Here are the elevations of the plans showing where the standing seam metal roofing and the new shingle roofing will be installed, as well as where the vent will be replaced by the fixed window and where the shingled siding will be located in the gable ends of the dwelling. Finally, the applicant proposes to excavate a section of yard adjacent to the existing driveway to better square off the front yard and construct a granite block flower bed. The excavated area will be backfilled with pea gravel over a weed deterrent stapled landscaping mat. A small retaining wall will be constructed along the edge of the excavated area, ranging in height from approximately 8 inches to 26 inches. The section in the upper right photo, shaded blue, will be the excavated area, while the white line indicates where the granite block retaining wall will be. The proposed small retaining wall and flower bed will be constructed of 16-inch by 4-inch and 8-inch by 4-inch granite blocks. Granite block retaining walls similar to what is being proposed are already located along the east side of the existing driveway and flower bed on the west side of the dwelling. The masonry retaining wall, approximately 3 feet in height, extending along the sidewalk on the north side of the property until reaching the concrete driveway, will not be impacted by the proposed project. If approved, staff recommends the following conditions. The proposed metal roofing shall be flat channeled with no striations. The proposed fixed windows shall be wood frame matching the existing openings in size with clear glazing and no tint. No mature trees or historic landscaping shall be removed as a result of the proposed project. All construction shall comply with regulations and requirements imposed by Land Development Code and other laws. And changes to the project from what is described in the application and submittals shall be reviewed by the Historic Preservation Commission. I would also like to inform the HPC that Ms. Christine Whiteman, owner of 1 Church Street, directly north of 2 Church Street, called on April 28th at approximately 10 a.m. to express concerns regarding the project. She has hearing issues and it makes attending public meetings difficult for her, so she asked that I express her concerns for her. Her main concern about the project is proposed change in the roofing material. She thinks changing the material will hurt the historic character of the house because she feels shingle is more appropriate for the neighborhood. She is not concerned about changing of the gable end siding and the changes to the vents to the windows. She has also expressed concern regarding some plants that were removed during an earlier property cleanup and hopes that remaining mature trees and shrubs will be retained. Finally, she is also concerned with how the house is being presented on the Airbnb website and wanted the HPC to be aware that she feels the house is not being presented historically accurately on the site. Her daughter, Kelsey Whiteman, called this afternoon at approximately 2:30 and left a voicemail to express her desire for me to inform you that she feels the house is a shotgun-style house and not a Craftsman. It is important to note that while Ms. Whiteman is concerned about replacing the shingles and standing seam metal, 6 Church Street, next to the project property, has a standing seam metal porch roof, while 5 Church Street, next to 1 Church Street, has a standing seam metal roof. Are there any questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does this house ever have standing seam metal anywhere on the roof?
From the best I can tell, no. We have a historic photo from 1966 that shows that it had a shingle roof.
Okay. I could see from the street, the rear looks like cedar shakes
Correct.
beneath the siding, and I believe the proposal, now that's what, the south facing, the east and west facing, they want to do the same to the gables?
Correct. That's the interior photo in the photo section. There's an interior photo taken showing those shingles.
And do we know if there's any cedar shakes below the siding that's currently there, or?
At least in a small portion of on the side gable, because that's where the applicant, I'd like the applicant to speak to where it's at. I think.
Okay, all righty. Okay, thank you.
I have some questions about the cedar shake, but should I wait to speak with the applicant, or should
Well,
I ask?
you can ask, and I will tell you if they.
So, since we know that there were cedar shakes there, why not just use cedar shakes? Why the desire to use a composite?
That would be something he would have to answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anything else? Thank you.
One more, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
You just replacing with fixed windows, those are vents up in the attic.
Correct.
Wouldn't that be a problem for the house? No ventilation?
I'm assuming they have a plan for that.
I'll ask the,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Would the applicant like to come forward and speak to the project? Please state your name and address and speak clearly into the microphone.
Good evening, Jay Larson, 1221 Country Club Road and 2 Church Street. Answer just a couple of those questions off the top. The proposed use is, this house has, it's been on the Sanborn maps as far as the 1800s. So I'm sure at some point there was probably a metal roof on this building. But anyway, I desire to use very durable materials. That's why I'm looking to do a metal roof and a composite shingle. Cedar shingles are great. They're wonderful. They don't last very long. They do fade. They do tend to be a maintenance nightmare. The shingles that are there are absolutely too far gone to refurbish. I mean, they're cracked. They're seeping water. That's why I'm sure the original homeowner, or whoever put the aluminum siding on, probably worked with that same conditions. Below the gable is regular shiplap siding. It's just the gables that have cedar shingles.
Addressing the cedar shake issue, cedar is naturally antibacterial. It's got natural antifungal properties. It's often used on seaside homes because it's just so durable against water and the elements. It's also somewhat termite resistant. It's a really strong, durable, natural property that I would say if this is what was originally on the house, being part of the historic district, there's no reason to put something else on there. This is what it had. It's a material that functions. Going by our guidelines, since we know that it was there, I think it makes sense to replace with that. I understand what you're saying about concerns about maintenance. Luckily, cedar is really, really durable and a phenomenal material for our old houses.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, what about the ventilation if you're taking those vents off the sides of the gable?
Well, I want to be clear, it seems like everything is in plural. We're talking about one gable, not all gables.
Okay.
For the,
You're only talking the rear gable, you're not talking the side gables.
I'm talking about the Surrey Street gable only, not the rear gable or the east gable.
Okay, so you're leaving the aluminum siding there.
Correct.
Okay. I thought the picture, okay, all right.
So we're really only talking about one gable, which is the one in the picture here.
Okay.
All other vents would still remain, and the aluminum siding would also remain.
Okay. But, I mean, back to the question, okay, but that vent, you're going to put windows. Is that going to heat up the attic or cause problems of moisture or condensation or anything up there? I mean,
Why are you putting windows, I think was what our question is.
yeah, if it's just like an attic up there, who's looking out? The church mice? I mean, I don't quite.
No, it's usable space. I mean, there's considerable space. There's standing room up there. I mean.
Oh, so you're going to like utilize it for living
utilize
space,
it
not
for-
just, I'm picturing just an attic with old rafters and
Oh,
bats
no.
hanging or something. Yeah,
No.
okay, so this is going to be a living space.
Yeah, it would be accessible space. It would probably be, a very nice study.
Okay,
but
all
it
right, that
would
makes
be
sense then.
vented. There'd be other means of venting for that space.
Well, then my question is, why fixed windows? I mean,
Well, the front is fixed windows, so I think that would, I'm open to,
well, it's nice to be able to open a window too when there's a nice spring day. Or,
I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree. If anything, I would make it an awning window, but my first thought was, well, I have to match what's on the front, so
Right,
I would
okay.
make it a fixed window.
I think you can kind of visibly match the fenestration look, but still have a window that you can open or some way or another.
Sure. Yeah, it wouldn't be a slider. It would be awning or nothing. It's too small to make it a double pane. No, double-
Right, no, yeah, that wouldn't work. Okay. All right.
Anything else?
With the roof, I'm just curious why, if you like the look of the standing seam, why not go all the way? Like, I feel like kind of doing both is kind of unusual. It might be sort of a, I don't know, just kind of curious about your thoughts of just doing that front side and not all of it, like just kind of,
Sure. Well, part of that is economics.
Yeah.
You know, a full metal roof is $100,000. The main priority is getting the asset protected. We've been through several hurricanes. The asphalt shingles are at their absolute end of their life. And so,
Yeah.
you know, I need to re-roof it. So we got a major expense there. And I like a metal roof. I mean, I would do the whole thing, and probably in time, I will do the whole thing in a metal roof, but it's really a matter of economics. The front is pretty much has its own profile, and then this side of the building has its own profile. They're two separate profiles.
yeah. I think I see this little shed over the windows facing Surrey. I think I'm okay with that being metal, but I think, just my opinion, I would like to see like a consistent roofing material. I think chopping it up, I get what you're saying, it's kind of a different profile, but I think, in my opinion, I would like to just see one consistent roof material, and maybe down the line you go with the metal roofing. If it's a financial thing, maybe just go with the asphalt shingles for now. Since it is an asphalt shingle, we have so many people here who have a metal roof that's 100 years old and they have to replace it, and we oftentimes push them towards a full, like, asphalt shingle is not an option for them. And so I think, since you have asphalt shingle, I would go there and then do the standing seam on the side on this little shed roof, if that's the look that you like. But I don't love the combination, I think.
Okay, what about just the dormer being a metal standing seam, and the apron, what they call an eyebrow over on the Surrey side? That way you have a little consistency of material on both sides.
Yeah, I like that more. I still think one material would be best, but I'm curious what other people think.
I actually have a question. Do we have homes in the HD that are up to roofing materials?
Mine is.
Yours? Okay.
It's a standard.
Yeah, there's some out there.
Well, there's some that have they have, you know, like the roofing, and then they'll have a porch or a whatever that is different.
I have the lower level is metal, the top is asphalt, and then my garage has a metal come out where the windows are.
Okay.
So it's not like your whole back is metal, it's that accent pieces that are different.
Okay, and that's kind of what we're talking about right now. Okay.
Not necessarily. I mean,
I'm like the little side. I don't know that I've seen a dormer with a different material like he's suggesting.
I have not seen a dormer. It's usually something that is, you know, like distinguished between a floor and a sunroom with a different elevation type thing. I have not seen this with a part metal and part
There's plenty of room.
asphalt.
There's plenty of houses that have a copper top to their dormer.
Right.
With shingles. I mean, it's a matter of a material, but it's still a difference of materials. That's quite often found and seen.
Yeah, we were just talking about specifically in the historic district, if there was a precedent, which I can't think of, but I know it's possible.
Yeah.
The house next door has a standing seam metal roof and a regular shingle, main house. So the porch roof is different than the main house next door. That's 6 Church Street.
It does.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to open the evidentiary part of the meeting. If anyone in the audience would like to come forward and speak to this project? If not, then we'll close it and go to deliberations. I have a comment about the shingle. I thought, the precedent on older homes is that we are not allowing composite hardy.
I think that is a standard.
It is.
That's the standard.
No.
And we only allow that on a new construction,
Yeah.
correct? So this would qualify as not new, it's old, so.
Correct.
I mean, if that's the question, we're not
Yeah.
really allowing the hardy on that.
No.
See. Oh, I mean, as far as the roof, I mean, between North 6th and North 7th, that large house there, we allowed the entire roof, which was shingle, to be metal, replaced with standing seam. I mean, that was a major roof. So, I mean, I don't know, if he has a plan that eventually it's all gonna be metal, I personally don't really object to, like, the front being metal now and the back shingle, and then 10 years from now, whenever he gets around to it, doing the rest metal. I mean, if we're gonna change material, why are we making him just change, the dormer part or something?
Well, the precedent, or the case that you're talking about, that was like an accessory structure that was standing seam and the house was shingle or something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like that's kind of a different scenario because it's a separate structure.
And the main house was asphalt, was, shingled, and then the accessory dwelling was metal.
Right.
And their hope is to, replace the main back to its original.
Right.
We don't know what this was originally.
Yeah.
I think two-toning it,
I mean,
we're gonna get into some problems. Two-toning materials on a roof. Suppose somebody comes in and say, well, I want to do the front part of my roof and then the rest later, or we're opening a can of worms that I don't think we should open. Just my opinion.
So, well, I'm not quite following you. So you're saying, well, what should we approve here? Just,
Asphalt.
yeah, the whole roof asphalt, no metal?
The whole front. I'm a little confused on what part is metal and what.
I mean, the part over here on the right side is not something that
The eyebrow?
is like going to leak into the house.
No, what? On the driveway, like that eyebrow you're talking about? Mm-hmm. And what?
Correct.
Leave that shingle or make it metal, or I'm a little confused where we're doing metal or not doing metal at this moment.
So I was suggesting that the Surrey-facing shed roof over the windows could be standing seam, and then everything
whole
else would
front.
be asphalt shingles.
Oh.
Just that little, if they want the metal, just because it's kind of like the precedence that we were talking about. It's
It's
at
a
a lower
different,
level.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a porch, it's lower, it's separate. All the roof that meets should be the same material. He was suggesting just the dormer also on top, but I think just one material would probably be best on top.
Per roof.
Is there a picture of how the back of the house comes into the back part comes into the house from the back? We don't only see a side view of that. Is there one?
Is there one in the back? Oh. Well,
There isn't one at the back.
Like meeting
Yeah,
it.
because I was just going to say, if you did the whole main part of the house and the side piece, and then just left that strip along the back, asphalt, but it kind of connects in an awkward way for that.
I don't know, to me, if you did the whole front metal and the eyebrow metal, you don't see, at least from the street, when you see the shingle part in the back.
It would only be the back piece. But it connects in an odd way. It's not like it comes down and then it's under. It's part of that rear top.
Congruity is just it's so important. And I think what we're talking about right now with, like when you're looking at the roof, like everything that touches should all be the same. And that's just in keeping with congruity. I agree with Allison that if there were to be something that would be changed, I think we could just do the metal over that one side area. But just in terms of following the guidelines, kind of cutting and pasting doesn't work for the City of Wilmington design standards.
I don't think it works for design standards, period. It just doesn't work. It is too choppy and not, most of them that are different have been added on years later, and they're flatter or they're very different. I think this needs to go back to the drawing board.
Okay, I was throwing this out there so he doesn't have to come back in a month. So if we said all shingles, no metal roof, had to use cedar shakes and not composite hardy shakes, and put in the windows for the vent, awning windows if need be or whatever, would that all pass in that form?
I think so.
Yes, I would, yeah.
Okay, let's.
Would
maybe
that be
the
agreeable? Would you be agreeable
applicant
to
can
that?
say something here on this?
I would very much appreciate a ruling on this if we could do at least the eyebrow in metal, everything else in asphalt shingles, and cedar shingles on the gable. And we never talk about the retention wall. I don't think that's a major big deal. It's not really, it really just holds the dirt out of the driveway.
The retention wall is fine.
Yeah, thank you.
It's the rest.
But
And
if we could do asphalt shingles on the body of the house and that little eyebrow in metal, I would be very pleased.
I don't think we're going to do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Side,
Well-
This little
yeah.
piece on the side.
That is my peace offering to move along so I can get the roof.
All right, that's
Yes.
fine.
Yeah.
No.
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 The one just
Facing.
above the bay window.
You're talking about the shed roof over the bay windows, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be fine.
Fine with that.
Does anyone want to do a motion?
Hang on, let me find the paperwork here. We're all okay with this? Hang on 1 second. I have it. Okay. I move to approve with conditions a request of replacing part of the roof, the eyebrow roof, over the driveway with standing seam metal, replacing the attic vents with windows fixed or operable as possible, replacing reinstalling cedar shakes, not hardy shakes, on the gable ends, and installation of a granite block flower bed, and re-landscaping a section of the yard for the property located at 2 Church Street.
You have to add the shingle roof, because he's asking for permission for that, too.
Okay, well, okay, and replacing the entire shingle roof with new shingles. Okay. This request is consistent with the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks based on the evidence provided, including all application attachments, testimony presented during the evidentiary hearing and the staff report. Conditions 1 through 5, except the metal roof is just on the eyebrow, not the rest of the house, that's shingles. Is there anything else I'm missing here?
A second?
Second?
Okay.
Favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Yes, I oppose.
It passes.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll move on to item number 3, 211 South 6th Street.
Good evening, Interim Madam Chair and Commission members. The project proposes to remove the existing shed and construct a new accessory structure in the rear yard. The property located at 211 South Sixth Street is a contributing resource to Historic District Residential, HDR. As such, our revisions to the building's facades and sites are subject to design review to ensure the compliance with the district historic preservation guidelines. According to the Wilmington Historic District Boundary Expansion and Additional Documentation Report, the James William Craig House, circa 1899, is a two-story side patio house altered to a duplex. The subject property is located on the west side of South 6th Street between Orange Street and Ann Street. The applicant proposes to remove the existing shed and construct a one-story office gym accessory structure measuring 28 feet wide by 22 feet long by 18 feet, 10 and a half inches high at the highest peak in the rear yard with approximately 616 heated square footage. The accessory structure will be clad in lap wood siding with 5-inch reveal to match the primary dwelling. The roof will be single slope shed roof. The roofing material will be a white TPO rubber roofing finish. The accessory structure will have 5 windows in total. All windows will be composite windows with low E glass, white interior, and white hardware. The accessory structure will have 2 sets of sliding doors, one on the left side of the southern facade and one centered on the eastern facade. Sliding doors will be masterpiece full light gliding patio door with low E glass in the color white. The accessory structure will have a single hinge 36 inches wide by 18 inches high door with 14 inches side lights on each side of the right-hand side of the southern facade. The door will be Stevens & Son Legacy Collection, fiberglass pre-hung front door with low E glass in the color white. All trims, including window and door trims, corners, and band boards, fascia and face boards, and hair railing at steps will be in the gliding bright white to match the primary structure. The applicant proposes to construct a wooden deck that wraps around the proposed accessory structure with 5 feet depth on the front south facade and an 8 feet depth on the east elevation. Staff observations include the proposed accessory structure will be located approximately 9 feet from the existing primary residence stair. The existing backyard is fenced with a 6-foot wood privacy fence. If the commission elects to ensure a certificate of appropriateness for this request, the staff recommends the following conditions be applied. The proposed office gym accessory structure shall not exceed the height of the primary dwelling, and the siding of the proposed office fence accessory structure shall match the existing primary dwelling. Any questions?
I have one. Why the TPO rubber roof? There is an incline. It's not a flat roof.
Right. So I'm sure the applicant can
Okay.
answer that question.
All right.
Any more questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would the applicant like to come forward and talk about the project? Please state your name and address and speak clearly into the microphone.
Hi, my name is Nick Nguyen, Nguyen, and I'm the owner of 211 South 6th Street. The TPO is because the pitch, it's 2.5 by 12.
Okay.
It's too, water, rain sideways will get under the pitch of the
Okay.
shingles.
Okay, and you don't want to do metal, it would be kind of expensive.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, okay, got it.
This is durable enough. I've changed it every 10 years or so.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a question about the, kind of the rear fence and the rear porch.
Yes.
So it's a 6-foot tall fence, and then it looks like the finished floor elevation is about 4 feet off the ground in one of the elevations. So that's like 2 feet of fence. It just seems like if you're sitting on that back porch, the neighbors, you're like in their yard, sort of. And it just seems like kind of a funny place for a porch on the back there.
So the north side is a little taller, and the south side has nothing but bushes and trees.
Okay.
I mean, I can add the fence to 8, but I didn't want to go beyond.
Yeah, it can't.
It can't be 8.
can't be
I
8.
know, that's why.
It just seems like a funny place for a porch, I guess, because you have the side, like, why not just flip it and put the porch on the yard side instead of the fence side, maybe? I don't know. It just seemed kind of funny to me, but if you have a good reason, then,
There's no door on that one side.
yeah. Okay.
The front
could-
entrance comes up, and then there's two entrances, the front door and the sliding. And then the east side, where the sun rises, has another slider.
So the porch is just facing all greenery, essentially? Okay,
The 8-foot side.
gotcha.
The other side is facing 213, which is Susan and Jake's house.
Okay. Well, a nice row of lemon leaf privet or something along the fence would take care of any sight problems.
Yeah, I can add like trees that are fast-growing as well.
My neighbor had a landscaping plan put in, and he put them in, and I can't see his back porch anymore. It works.
It'll be screened in, so they really can't see in anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll open the evidentiary portion of the meeting. If anyone would like to speak to this project, please come forward. Since there is no one, we'll close that deliberations among commissioners.
I'm fine.
Problem? Anyone want to do a motion?
I move to approve with conditions the request for constructing an accessory structure in the rear yard for the property located at 211 South 6th Street. This request is consistent with the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks based on the evidence provided, including the application and all attachments, testimony presented during the evidentiary hearing, and the staff report. Conditions 1 through 4.
Second, anyone?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. That concludes the evidentiary part of the meeting. Anything from the commissioners? Anything from staff? Motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
We're done.
Amen.